Hey YouTubers, Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. I got this story a little bit late. Sorry, I had to run some errands. I had to go to Vancouver. Anyways, Ontario to tax foreign buyers, expand rent control to cool housing market. To try to cool housing market, let's put it that way. Because when you're laundering money, hey, if it's more expensive, buy it. Because then when you sell it to your friend, it's just easier and you got more money laundered. You know, it's like layering. I don't know if you guys ever saw Breaking Bad, but it's true. That's how it works. Pay a little bit of tax. Hey, you know, you gotta pay the mob some interest, right? Some juice, some vig, or whatever you want to call it. Toronto, Ontario is following British Columbia's lead, promising to introduce a tax on foreign home buyers that the province hopes will help cool the frantic housing market, easing concerns about potential bubble in Canada's fastest growing urban region. This is going to end really bad, people. This is going to end really, 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 really bad. The 15% of non-residents speculation tax was among 16 housing measures the provincial government announced Thursday, which also included a promise to expand rent control, allowing Toronto to impose a tax on vacant homes and surplus provincial lands for affordable housing. Premier Kathleen Wynne said the new tax would not target immigrants and a rebate would be available for foreigners who work in Ontario. Those who subsequently get citizenship or permanent resident status and international students. So there's many, many loopholes. So it's not just because in Vancouver, properties are going back up. So the correction didn't happen. So go back a few stories and see what happened here in Vancouver. With this tax, we are targeting people who aren't looking for a place to raise a family. They're looking for a quick profit or a safe place to park their money, Wayne said. Fears of potential real estate market collapse as well as diminishing housing affordability have put increasing pressures on Wayne's Liberal government to take action. At a time when the average price of a detached house in Greater Toronto area has increased more than 30% in the last year. What's going to happen? You're going to see a buildup. This is basically people waiting for the elevator. So there's a bunch of people waiting for the market to come back down so they could buy or time the market or whatever you want to call it. So you get two people standing there. Elevator hasn't come yet. Then you got 8, then 16. A year goes by, you got 6,000, 60,000 people waiting for that. 2 years goes by, you got 500,000 people waiting for the elevator. And then just like in Vancouver, people get pushed. They just leave the city and they leave the town. And now employers are having a hard time finding qualified employees. Wayne said that measures are designed to help people afford to rent or buy a home, brushing off a suggestion that the move is more about boosting her approval rating, which has recently plunged just over 10% according to the polls. Some economists were skeptical Thursday about the impact the new tax on foreign speculators would have on soaring house prices. Nothing that all three levels of government have admitted they lack housing market data. And back to the other article I was talking about was about the whole shadow bank thing. You can't stop it, right? Like, let's say, for example, a house is 240 grand and someone wants to launder millions of dollars. They have to buy that house and flip it like 20 times to make $2-3 million, as opposed to buy a house for $3 million, flip it, sell it to a friend, and then that money goes back into a legit bank account, and then the money's clean. Like, you see what I'm saying? And this is why people don't understand. If a house is $3 million, it's so much easier to layer and flip $3 million than it is to do a house $200,000 30 times, right? So this is big, vast amount of numbers of money coming into the country from God knows where, and the banks are giving into shadow lending too. Where is it going to end? When's it going to stop? I just think things are just not going to end well, period. Wayne said the Liberals are not interested in controlling the market, But we do believe that there is a need for interventions right now in order to calm what is going on, she said. But the non-resident speculation tax will be imposed on buyers in Ontario's Great Golden Horseshoe and stretching from Niagara region to Peterborough, who are not citizens, permanent residents, or Canadian corporations. Once legislation passes, it will be effective retroactively on April 21st. They're moving this fast because they're noticing this is out of control, eh? Another housing measure would expand rent control, which currently only applies to units built before November 1991. The measure will be effective retroactively April 20th once passed. Rent control has been one of Toronto Mayor John Tory's main concerns, especially after recent published reports of some tenants in the city receiving notice that their rent will double. Remember that article I read? Same, that's what they're talking about here. So this is a very long article. Let's get down to here. The measures announced Thursday appear similar to those of British Columbia government implementing in Metro Vancouver last August, when foreign home buyers were slapped with a 15% tax. And the city, like I said, it's like the 15% tax to a person laundering money or whatever is like, I gotta pay some sort of VIG, some sort of interest, I can't have it all clean, right? So I gotta pay 15 points, right? And that's why the houses are going up here in Vancouver right now. The city of Vancouver also imposed a tax on vacant homes. BC Premier Christy Clark announced that in January the tax would be lifted for those who have a work permit in order to encourage more people to move to the province to work. But you can get a work permit. Do you have to be working? The number of sales in Metro Vancouver plunged in the months after the new tax, though the signs of the market may be bouncing back. In the last article, 2 articles I read, go back and see. City Pulse 24 breaking news. So this is a pretty good source. CP24 is a really good source. I like them. They're really good. I grew up watching them when I was a kid living in Toronto. What do you guys think, man? Living out in TO, the GTA. What do you guys honestly think? Because you think it's going to work? It cooled down the market for a bit. Now houses are selling left and right again, like nobody's business. I mean, are there loopholes we're not being told about? Is there something happening that there's always so many underlying things that we never will ever find out. And if we did, we would be very unhappy people if we knew the truth about everything. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Thanks for watching.